Welcome to Meet the Author, where you can join in on insightful conversations with best-selling and award-winning indie published authors. Your hosts today are Rob and Joan, who themselves are indie published authors, book publicists, and paranormal investigators with Tampa Bay Spirits, based in Tampa Bay, Florida. Thanks for dropping by. And now, on with the show.
Good evening, I'm Rob.
And I'm Joan. Welcome to the show. I hope wherever you are, you're warm and cozy. It's cold here tonight in Florida when we're usually in 80-degree weather. We're going to have 40-degree weather tonight. So for us, that's really cold.
We got the snow shovel out and everything. Yeah. We're all ready to go.
No, we didn't.
Oh. Okay.
I hope you're all ready for Christmas. We are.
It's right around the corner.
It is. Yeah, so Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa. Hello, Trish.
Hello,
Welcome
Trish.
to the show. As you know, people, we love for you to share and like and comment. Go ahead and make your comments and ask your questions. We love hearing from you. Okay. Marjorie.
19 degrees.
It says
Whoa.
It's 19 degrees where she is. You have us beat. You win.
Yeah, you win.
Hi, Diane. Hello, this is Diane Elizabeth Astle saying hello, and she's saying Merry Christmas.
Way
Merry
up
Christmas
in
to you too.
cold Canada.
Yeah, you talk about being beat. You've got us beat. Well,
Maybe.
In the 40s it's cold for us though.
There you go. Want to remind everybody about Episode Rewind on Saturday nights at 5:30. This week, we're going to run restream episode 4, which is Orlando Sanchez and Mark Rosendorf. And you can watch that on the same channels. Check on our pinned post on Facebook. You can get those links there very easily. We have 3 Facebook, 1 LinkedIn, and 2 YouTube channels at this point. And next Wednesday, we're going to have young adult crossover fiction author Tori Gates. He'll be the last one of the year. So that's going to be good to tune into. I want to remind everybody about that's up in the upstate New York area or wants to travel there from anywhere in the East Coast, of course, or anywhere in the country for that matter, or world. Rochester Winter Parafest is March 25th, 26th, 27th. It is a fundraiser for Veterans Outreach. So it's a good cause. We're going to have numerous celebrities from the paranormal field. And that's rochesterparafest.org is the link that you go to find out more about that.
James Rickard says, greetings one and all. Hello, James.
Hey, James.
George Dismuke says, oh, worn out George here. You're not worn out, George. You've only just begun. And Diane says, it is cold, and we have been digging out of a snowstorm. Oh.
That's no fun.
No.
I'd let you borrow our snow shovel, but we don't have one.
We got rid of it when we moved here 26 years ago.
Yeah. Carried it from Chicago,
Actually,
Michigan.
To be
Boston.
honest, we moved from California to here, so we didn't have it for years before that either.
That's true.
It's been a long time since we've lived in the snow. I don't mind visiting it, but
there you go.
That's as far as I want to go.
So, what do you say we bring Susan in?
Yeah, absolutely.
Is that a good idea?
We've got a really good author for you tonight. Oh, wait a minute. George says, worn out from making pecan brittle. I know that you do that every year. Okay.
Probably eating it too, I would imagine. But I'm just saying. So, without further ado, we're going to add Susan to the picture here. Merry Christmas,
Susan.
Everyone. Hello, Susan.
Merry Christmas to you all, too.
Yeah, and we're glad to have you on the show. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing just fine, thank you.
How is it in Oklahoma? Are you still warm?
Fairly warm and dry. We're supposed to beat several records in the next couple of days. Heat records.
Yeah. It's been a very strange year, hasn't it? Weather-wise.
Very, yeah. Last year we were having ice storms and snowstorms and cold snaps and all kinds of stuff. And this year we haven't had any rain since 1st of November.
Yeah, it's been so odd. So very odd.
Yeah.
And then we have other things to deal with.
Yes.
Trish says, hello, Susan.
Hi.
I know that Trish was looking forward to this show. You know what?
What?
We didn't put up her banner. Here we go.
Yeah.
There you go.
There we go.
This is with whom we're speaking.
That's
Author
right.
Susan KITE. She's a multi-genre author. And Susan, you want to tell us a little bit about how you got into writing? What sparked your interest? That sort of thing.
Yeah, I was writing short little things even in high school. Some of the classes get boring, and but I never finished anything. And most of them were like stories of Mr. Spock or I love Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea, stuff like that. And so that was mainly what it was. And then when I got married, the story stayed in my head. I did write one that I put into a little back in the day. You remember those days when they used dittos to make copies of stories. Yeah, I'm dating myself, but it didn't go beyond that until my kids had a boy and a girl, till they were in high school, almost ready to graduate. And then I decided I wanted to write what was floating around inside my brain. And so I did. And then somehow I ended up gravitating to the fan fiction again. So I have a whole bunch of fan fiction stories, but I wrote a whole bunch of those. And just finally one time I decided, I would love to be able to actually publish something, because the fan fiction has to stay on the internet. It doesn't get published unless you want someone breathing down your neck in court, because you violated their copyright. But I mean, seriously, some of them will. They will.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you, what kind of fan fiction did you write?
I started out with Zorro, and I think we're going to go full circle to that one before we're done.
Okay.
But I started out with Zorro because I absolutely adored and it's the Walt Disney one. There's several different versions.
Yeah.
I adored that. I just thought of all these other stories because, shame of it all, it was only on for 2 years. So I started with that. I gravitated to Lost in Space, the original one, and then to Buck Rogers, the TV series, which also only lasted a couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I did. And I did a bunch of Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea. I think that's probably what is most represented on.
And I loved all of those shows.
Yeah.
Trish Pipkin says, I've been working on Christmas presents all day. I'm not even close to being done. I'm making them, which I now regret.
I've done that myself.
And George says, Santa is going to be wearing Bermuda shorts this year.
Yeah, well, if he comes to Oklahoma, he will.
And Trish said she loved Buck Rogers. I did too.
Yeah.
I know Trish has met Erin Gray a few times. We loved her in that. She was really good.
Oh, yes. I met her and Gil Gerard and Felix Silla. God rest his soul.
Yeah.
And
at different cons.
Yes. And
yeah.
The one that played Hawk, and all of a sudden my brain is just going.
Tom.
Yeah.
Thomerson or
Tom. Yeah. It's Tom.
Yeah, Trish, she mentioned Gil Gerard, but who's the one who played Hawk? Wasn't his name something like Tom Thomerson? I don't remember.
Yeah.
James says Voyage became the monster of the week. Oh gosh,
yes.
James, and so funny because it's the same thing as like Doctor Who. Uh-huh. When the Daleks, you could see were a vacuum cleaner top, and you could see their little tennis shoes underneath. And really, the Voyage monsters were always like that. They were always these weird things. They were funnier than they were scary.
Well, and what was great about Voyage, and I guess this is why there's so much fan fiction for it. is that they played it serious.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Lost in Space got silly. They had Dr. Smith, and it just got silly.
Yeah.
And when I wrote Lost in Space fan fiction, I think I got rid of Dr. Smith the second big story I wrote. Just got rid of him. I didn't kill him off, but I got rid of him. But the joke is that they would get through with a Lost in Space monster, and then move it over to Voyage and use it there.
They were very similar. That is very
Yes.
true, very accurate. Well, it was the time, it was the year.
It was.
You know, we didn't have the technology that we have nowadays.
Oh,
but
no.
oh, oops, sorry. Trish said, "Yay! I can't stand Dr. Smith."
Oh, I know. And I think on the new series they made him a her. That's even worse.
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't seen it, so
The new series?
I think Netflix has had a new series. I don't know.
I've watched it. Yeah, we've watched it every episode.
Oh, okay.
Actually, I liked it. I enjoyed it.
Was Dr. Smith a girl?
Yes, Dr. Smith was a woman, but there was a whole different backstory. I'm not going to give you any spoilers. It's worth watching. It's nothing like the original at all. It's a serious sci-fi.
Good.
Yeah, Trish just said no spoilers. I just said, Trish, I'm not going to give away any spoilers. I'm not going to spoil it, but it's really well done, and you become invested in the characters, and you get invested in the story. And if you have Netflix, you should give it a try.
Yeah.
Well, don't worry about it.
I don't have time. Most of the time, I don't have time to watch series anyway.
I would like to get to some of your books.
That would be a good idea.
Yeah. Actually, let's start with this one because it's just really cute.
Okay.
It's one of your children's books, Billy Bob Flybottom, A Very Tall Tale. I love that.
Yeah, my publisher for this one was Doodle and Peck Publishing, and they're out of Yukon. They're local. And Marla says, I had a different subtitle. And she says, we're just going to say A Very Tall Tale. And bless her, she was totally right on that because it tells what it is. But
if you're listening and not viewing, what you need to know is that Billy Bob Flybottom, who's the little boy, is holding on to the tail of a tornado.
Yeah, and the pictures are just adorable. It's illustrated by a very fine gentleman named David Barrow, not the British David Barrow, but he lives here too. And but Billy Bob is supposed to be a kind of like Pecos Bill or Paul Bunyan or one of those. I just thought there needed to be a tall tale from the Appalachians, so that's what it is. He's from the Appalachians.
James says, cute cover. It is a very cute cover. And I wanted to bring up some of your other books too. Let's see. How should we do Realms of the Cat next?
Oh, yes. That was another one that I had a lot of fun doing because that one came out in 2018. It was actually very loosely based on pets that we had owned. So the main character, TB, we did have a cat, a black cat named TB, which stands for toe biter. And anyway, he, thank you. The cow, I thought the cow in the tornado was cute. Anyway, he was kind of in this realm, and he finds out that he's approached by the king of the cats, and he finds out that he lived another life, which is, the 9 lives thing. I just kind of played on everything. But he goes back and gets some of his old buddies, including a dog and another cat. And they're trying to save the little girl that he used to live with, who's been kidnapped and sent through an interdimensional portal. So it's strictly fantasy.
It sounds like a lot of fun. I mean, I like interdimensional portals. That's a cool thing. Trish says, "Ooh, a black cat. I am owned by a black cat."
I'm on my 2 right now.
Are you?
Oh, yes. Yes. Scamp, and who was a feral. He was a feral baby. And then we picked up a neighborhood cat. Then we called him Zorro.
Good
But
name.
he's got the ear tips. So if if you want to help out these cats, then yeah, get them fixed, and then they'll have little better lives anyway. But anyway, that's my thing.
And then here's the Mendel experiment.
Yeah, that was actually my first book with World Castle, which is a small publishing house out of Florida. And this one was science fiction. I have had people tell me it's fantasy. Whatever. I call it science fiction. Yeah, it deals with genetic experiments, and these kids are kind of plunked on this planet that humans can't live on. They've been genetically enabled to do that, and they have some different they have the ability to live from environment to environment. So the main character in this one, Corey, she and her group live in like a jungle, and there's some that live in the mountains, and they have each adapted so they can do that. And then I won't spoil it, but there is another group that's kind of aliens. Yeah, I got to have the aliens in some of these, but
Oh, yeah.
Oh, sure.
Definitely.
They have
yeah,
they have their rights,
Yeah.
of course they do, and the scientists end up being the bad guys, and that I will tell you. I like my aliens. I don't like them all nasty. So that I had then that's where the Power Stone of Alagol came from, because Alagol was the planet that the aliens came from.
Let's bring that up. The Power Stone of Alagol.
Yeah, that was the third one.
That was the third one.
Yeah,
We just jumped to that because you mentioned it.
I mentioned it, and that's okay. Yeah, Blue Fire was the second one. I'm kind of jumping all over the place.
That's okay. We'll put up Blue Fire later, but go ahead with what you were saying at the Power Stone of Alagol.
Alagol was the planet the aliens came from, and they were having issues, and the scientists were really not nice people in all 3 of these. So, but Corey has to find some new some power that she didn't know she had inside in order to help these people. And I have kind of drafted a 4th one. I don't know if it'll ever hit print, but
well, I hope so.
Yeah,
I bet it will.
well, maybe someday.
Let's be positive. It will. It'll get there.
It's got to be a little longer first. Right now, I don't think it goes past being a novella. But
yeah,
that's part of it. You don't want to pad things. You want your stories to be meaningful.
That's right. You don't want it full of filler.
Yeah,
people don't want to read that.
right?
They're like,
no, they'll know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They'll be like, what do I care about this?
Yeah. What does this have to do with anything?
Yep. Exactly. So I get it. You just kind of are at a stopping point for the story as far as your characters are taking.
It ended. It's 50,000 words, and I'm going, okay, what's next? I don't,
You don't know. It'll come to you. Sometimes you have to put things down, and then you can take them up again.
Yeah.
Maybe they went on vacation.
Maybe.
Yeah, you've been working them too hard.
Yes.
Well, we did touch upon Blue Fire, which is right here. And that's the second one.
Yeah, the interesting thing about this is actually the Mendel experiment. When I wrote the Mendel experiment, now that was the other problem. That one I wrote and wrote and wrote, and the story just kept coming. And when I pitched it to World Castle, she says, I'm sorry, but 120,000 plus words is too much for one volume.
Yeah.
So I did the dreaded cliffhanger. You know, we're not supposed to do cliffhangers, but there, you know, that was just the way, you know, Mendel ended in a certain way, and it helps if you get Blue Fire to know what happened.
Right.
Right. Right. That's good.
You got to have some way to segue into it, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So James said studios have less to cut if you only write a novella.
That's true. If someone was interested in it, yes. But
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah. And yeah, they do cut a lot. It
They
just
do
doesn't
strange
work.
things. Yeah, they do strange things to books sometimes. I wonder.
Oh yeah, sometimes they just get the option to your book for the title,
Mm-hmm.
so then it is
just sits. Nobody does anything with it. Yeah.
Or if they do something with it, it's not your story; it's a completely different thing.
Right.
So that has happened.
Uh-huh.
It's a wonderful life, the life of an author.
Yes, it is. Absolutely.
Well, let me jump now to Moon Crusher.
Moon Crusher came out last year, and I had actually, this one's got a interesting history, because I grew up reading all these wonderful stories, you know, Poul Anderson, Clifford Simic, Robert Heinlein, Andre Norton, and they dealt with things like alien abductions and stuff like that. But I didn't want this to just be some kid down the block that the aliens come and grab, because a kid nowadays would be very familiar with, not very, but they would be familiar with a lot of technology. They would know about the communications. They would know about, oh, okay, you know, it's a spaceship. It can go in space. They wouldn't be as surprised. So what I thought, and I kind of took this from my Zorro days, is this would be a, well, the time frame I had, Mexican American kid in California, about 1830, give or take. And he's abducted by these reptilian type aliens. And someone says, well, what do these reptiles look like? And I said, do you remember the Star Trek episode where Kirk is on this planet fighting this reptile, this lizard guy? Okay, think about him. And anyway, so here's this kid. His horse is killed out from under him. He's been jerked up into this spaceship. He's a slave. He, he doesn't know the language. He's scared to death. Obviously, he thinks he's in purgatory or something. And I build it from there, where he has to overcome this and become a viable member of this community on this ship. And that's basically what Moon Crusher is his.
That's really interesting. So is this the boy right here that we're seeing on the cover?
Basically, yes. I think the publisher did a beautiful job with that cover.
That's great. Yeah.
I was very pleased with that cover.
Yeah, I like it too.
And it is also a young adult sci-fi.
Right.
Obviously.
Yeah. And we've had the discussion lots of times that, young adult books are really for everyone.
Yes.
Oh, Marjorie says, I love the Moon Crusher cover. Do you have a different cover artist for each genre or each cover in a genre?
Actually, no. On the Mendel and Moon Crusher, those were all done by the publisher at World Castle. And the Billy Bob was done by like I said, David Barrow, and it was formatted by the publisher, Marla. And I'm sitting here going, brain death. If she's on here, please, Marla, anyway, but no, I don't. I have, my publishers mainly have. The only one that actually was designed and, oh, thank you, Diane. The only one that was actually designed by someone that I know was the first one, which was My House of Dreams, and that one was me and a friend of mine kind of designed it. She was going to actually do it, and said, and I couldn't figure it out either, the formatting of this outfit that we did it with. And so anyway, so she designed it. She sent it to someone. That was back before Amazon, the Create Space. And so we had to pay someone. But that's the only one. Everything else is done by the publishers of the publishing houses I'm with.
Well, this My House of Dreams, I have that up now, and when that is a really nice cover too. I really like the way that's done also.
Yeah. Oh, my husband likes to point out to people, gee, guess whose hands those are? Well, yeah. Okay. They're mine. But anyway, yes, my dear friend Patricia, who is an awesome author too, Crumpler, she kind of put the things together. She said, we need this, we need that, we need, and then when we finally have, oh yeah, I can see that question about final approval. Yeah, I have some input. The Realms of the Cat went through about 3 or 4 incarnations before I finally said, that looks good. Now, I think she knows me enough, because Moon Crusher and the one after that, I looked at it and I went, wow. And that was about it. But yeah, I do sort of sign off on them.
Yeah, Marjorie had asked, do you have final approval or any input at all, for those of you who are just listening? And when Susan said, thank you, Diane, it was because she said she liked the cover of Moon Crusher too. And I am really, really sorry that those of you that are just listening cannot see these, because they really are beautiful covers and we like them a lot. Yeah. But Moon Crusher is kind of stunning.
One more, we can go to Crossroads.
All right, we'll do your newest.
Yeah, this one too.
Crossroads to the Stars.
Yes. And Karen Fuller is the publisher down there, and she's the one that actually designs the covers. And when she did this one, now she sent me several background pictures, and she said, which one would you like the best? And I kind of waffled back and forth, and this was not my favorite at the time, but I finally decided on it, and it just wowed me when she put the title and and my name on there. I'm just sitting there going, wow.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yes, that's really an awesome cover. That's my latest. That came out in November, and it's adult. It's not a young adult. And the only reason that I say it's adult is because the main characters are adults. They're not older adults, but they're
adults.
Adults, yes.
They're not young.
Is this a standalone, or is it going to become a series, do you think?
It could become a series. Right now it's a standalone, because I don't have any ideas about where to take it.
Okay.
So,
all right.
I mean, there's always an opening on those. The Moon Crusher, yeah, I do have. In fact, I've got a critique group right now, and we're going over it, the sequel to Moon Crusher.
Okay, good. Well, we'll talk more about that. Wait a minute. We have one more comment we'll bring up. Marjorie says, it sounds like you have a great working relationship with your publisher. That's great. Yeah, that is, right, Marjorie?
Yes.
That's a great thing. And it's
who's
that publisher?
Right. That publisher.
Yeah, that's World Castle. Yes, I do. And she is one that when she selects the book and puts it in queue and you edit it, then the publication date comes out, and you better be ready, because it's coming out.
Yeah.
Ready or not, here it comes.
Okay, well, we're going to take a take a couple-minute break, and then when we get back, we'll do our book giveaway. So stay tuned.
And we'll also let you know how to get in touch with Susan.
Perfect.
So
Thank you.
Sounds like we got an interesting half hour to come.
Yeah.
Be right back.
We'll be right back.
Hey, look at us. We've got a new store.
Yeah, we do. It's pretty exciting.
What can you find there?
We have a number of designs available on t-shirts, hoodies, coffee mugs, laptop and phone cases, pillows, and new designs are coming in all the time.
Sounds like a great place to shop for authors and readers.
Yeah, and it's easy to find. It's simple. Just visit indiebooksource.com, click on the store tab, and you're there.
Many secrets are hidden within the darkness of the jungle. Behold, this one about a man, a woman, a black jaguar, and an ancient Maya legend. Two Faces of the Jaguar is a novel by George Dismukes that will take you deep into the jungle and capture your imagination until the last word. Two Faces of the Jaguar is book one of a trilogy. Two Faces of the Jaguar, where only the adventurous dare to read.
Two Faces of the Jaguar, The Lost City, and The Jaguar's Quest are available on Amazon.com, Barnes & Noble, and many other bookseller websites. Two Faces of the Jaguar, the book people are talking about. Get your copy today.
And just like that, we're back.
Mm-hmm.
Told you it wouldn't be long, but let's get our book giveaway running. And here we go. The book giveaway today is the first 5 people to email myfirstbookscape@gmail.com will win a copy of Crossroads for the Stars.
Which is the book we were just talking about.
Exactly.
We were talking about the cover anyway.
Could you, I'm sorry, I didn't notice that before. There's no my in front of first.
Okay.
It's first Bookscape.
We'll
Yeah, we need to
one.
edit your email too then.
All right. They won't get to you.
Yeah, I won't get any, I won't be able to give away any books.
Wait just a minute,
There we
folks.
go.
We're gonna.
That's the email. Yes,
That's the correct one for the book giveaway. I'll try to fix this one
edit
too.
it in here.
Sorry about that.
No, that's okay.
Okay. There we go.
Let's try that.
That should be right.
All right.
Hey, all right. Thank you.
Firstbookscape@gmail.com. Woo!
The first 5 people to email firstbookscape@gmail.com will win a copy of Crossroads to the Stars. That's an e-copy, right?
Ebook.
An ebook.
Right?
It's firstbookscape@gmail. And if you want to reach Susan on Pinterest, it's KITE_Susan, KITE_SUSAN, an underscore in between Kite and Susan. And if you're on LinkedIn, it's Susan-Kite- a whole lot of letters, but you can just find her under Susan Kite. It's 794-20722. But I think you'll find her without the letters. And her Instagram account is Susan Lee Kite, so SUSANLEEKITE. And Twitter is @FirstBookscape. And her website, where you can go and see what her books are, is www.bookscape.net. And you can also find her on Indie Book Source.
That's right.
Yep.
So,
indiebooksource.com.
yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Let's get back to
And
your
she likes to
books.
hear from her
Oh,
fame.
absolutely.
Yep. Remember, if you read a book and you like a book, leave a review. We need reviews, people.
Yes.
We don't get enough of them, do we?
No.
I don't know why, because, if you like the book, tell us what you like
Doesn't
about
take but
it.
a second to do it. Well,
So
maybe
then
a couple minutes.
I know whether I'm going to like it or not, because I like books that are like that, or that's how I like to read a book. Okay, so let's go back to Crossroads. Wait a minute, I'll take off this banner. Sorry about that. There
we go.
Tell us about Crossroads to the Stars.
Well, on this one, I like I said, I had read all of these classic, what are called now the classic sci-fi authors. I was an Army brat. When we first would go someplace, the first place I would find where it was the Post Library, and that's the authors I'd find, and they wrote these classic, being able to go to the stars and stuff like that. And I just envisioned this this group of people that, yes, they're saying that, this Kendra Manning is the main character in this one, and she's supposed to lead a group to explore the solar system and then eventually the stars. Well, they didn't have the means to go from solar system to solar system. And of course, I know that wormholes and things like that are used a lot in sci-fi, and I don't even try to explain or excuse that. And they find an alien base on the moon, and when they explore this alien base on the moon, they find all these wonderful things that were left behind. The miracles that these people had, according, I would feel like it was a miracle if I suddenly found a base somewhere and found a ship or found a disc or something that explained how to go to another solar system.
Sure.
That would be awesome. So they not only find that, but they find several cryonically preserved humans. So apparently, the several hundred years previous, they had captured some humans and put them in frozen storage. So this all kind of converges, and they end up exploring in these new exciting spaceships that they've adapted to for the alien technology. And they find another alien race, and they're not that nice.
That sounds exciting.
So that's basically the idea behind it.
Yes, and it could be closer to fact than we know.
Right.
I don't know.
Could very well be.
It would be. I mean,
yeah, lots of people think there is an alien base on the dark side of the moon.
I wouldn't be a bit surprised. I mean, we've been here for what? I don't know, how many, depending on your beliefs, how many millennia, and who knows what's been going on in other places, Mars and the moon and stuff like that.
That's right.
Or Andromeda, or,
Yeah, exactly.
Who knows?
Or California. Nobody knows.
Sorry if you're listening from California.
We love you, California.
Yeah, we used to live there.
What is that, Area 57? Who knows?
51.
51, sorry. I knew I was going to get that one wrong.
It could really be 57, and they've always been promoting 51 to throw us off the track.
57.
That's
Of course.
Disinformation.
Yeah.
Of course.
Leave it to the paranormal investigators to.
There you go.
It was Area 51. Yeah.
Yeah, Area 51. Heinz 57. Yeah.
The stuff George says, the stuff about aliens is helping to explain my third wife.
Well, I know George is feeling okay today. It's really George.
Your poor third wife gets such a bad rap all the time.
Oh. Hey, let's not talk about the third wife. I'm the third wife.
Oh,
Are you?
You're not his third wife.
Yeah, it took him 3 times to get it right.
There you go.
Oh God. Yes, and we've been married for, I think it'll be 44 years this spring.
Wow, that's
So,
wonderful.
oh yes, we both got it right.
James
That's
says
good.
some say there is an Area 52.
Who
Yeah.
knows?
I don't know. I know there is actually a designation Area 52 because that's an old military. Those are all military designations, and that's where Area 51 came from. So, but there's a secret area in Area 51. And right now, I'm having a senior citizen brain moment where. Oh, George says, congratulations. It took me 5. He's married to his 5th wife, and this is the best and the last. Nadine. Yeah.
Nadine is good people and taking good care of him.
That's right.
That's
good care of her.
Yep.
Yeah. That's the way it works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So speaking of taking care of people, tell us about your Zorro project you've got.
Oh, yeah.
Well, like I said, the fan fiction I started with was Zorro.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a group of us that we got together online, you know, back in the day, Archie and Jughead and all those, you know, the WWW and all the other stuff. We would send stuff to each other and we would get to know each other online. Well, a bunch of us decided to get together because we felt like, and this sounds crazy saying it, but we felt like Guy Williams was owed his star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. So a lady in New York started out with, they have a big celebration in Brooklyn. I wasn't able to go to that one, where people from Brooklyn and Guy Williams, the Zorro guy, for those who don't know, he also did the original Lost in Space. But anyway.
Yes, he did.
Yes. Oh, yes. He's very handsome, John Robinson, you know. But anyway, he was given a street sign in Brooklyn because he was a native son. And then the next year, this woman that started a fundraiser, and it's a short story long, a bench. They do that in Central Park.
Central Park,
anyway,
that's the one.
That's the one. And then the year after that, his son got on board and we decided it's time for him to get his star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. And so that was probably the first fan-based operation. It did take some people to back it with money, but most of the time it's a studio that will back someone getting a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. And this was basically the fans. So anyway, we did that. And we visited the Mission San Luis Rey, and that's where my House of Dreams came from. And I fell in love with all that. It kind of waned a little as I wrote stories. And then I was asked to do a story and I didn't send you the cover for that one. It's called Zorro the Daring Escapades. And it was a short story collection that came out last year from Bold Venture. And they have reprinted all of the Zorro pulp stories that Johnston McCulley did. And plus they do brand new stories. So when that came out, and I had a little novelette that went in there, then I told them I had a trilogy that I had written, and would they be interested? And Audrey, the editor, she says, well, send it to me. And of course, I'm sitting there, I didn't expect that. So I'm sitting there furiously going through and doing line edits. And then I sent it off to her. And she says, I'm going to send this to Zorro Productions and see how they like it. So all these things have to go through the owner of the copyright. So Zorro Productions read it and they said, yeah, you know, if you make some of these changes, so I made the changes. And so those are going to be coming out sometime. And I'm just pleased as punch because that was where I actually started seriously writing, was with Zorro.
That's really exciting. And it's fun too.
It is. It's totally fun. Of course, people will say, well, fan fiction, you're taking already established characters. Well, yeah, you are, but you're putting them in new adventures, and and you still have to write a good story.
Yeah, and if you do it right, you're going to stay true to the character. That's
Yes.
the hard part. That's almost harder because
which was what
you've got to
little
stay.
editing they wanted.
Yeah, you've got to stay in that character. So.
Right. I like fan fiction, so I like to read fan fiction. If you love something, you don't want it to end.
No, of course not.
So that's why we have fan fiction, because we want to know what else is going on in those characters' lives.
Well, and I'm just so tickled to death when I saw the covers. I'm thinking, I actually got the feeling that Francisco Silva, who's a marvelous artist, had read at least part of the book. He knew the little details in the cover. I'm going, wow. I mean, I was just so impressed, and I'm going to be happy to see them come out. I don't know if they'll come out, 1, 2, 3, or if they're going to come out at the same time. I have no idea. Either way, I'm going to be excited because
we'll be looking forward to that.
You're going to put that on your website, are you?
Oh, yes.
Keep everybody posted on it.
I don't have the covers on the website, but I have mentioned that it's coming.
You sent me copies of the cover, but they were in the wrong format to be able to share them on the show. So,
that's too bad. I think they were sent in PDF, and that's all I had. So
and I didn't have the right program to convert them. So,
and I didn't think about it, or I would have. And yes, thank you, Trish. Yeah, fan fiction can be better than the original. I mean, look at all the Voyage. Zorro was a good property. It was. Disney did a phenomenal job on this. It was
he was kind of the American Western Batman.
Really, and in fact, the creators of Batman even paid homage to Zorro, because that's where they got the idea. There's the Bat Cave, and there's the cave, and there's the So it's Zorro actually celebrated 100th birthday on 2019. Because the first story came out in 1919.
The stories that Disney based the series on.
Yes, by Johnston McCulley.
Yeah,
and he wrote them in pulp magazines. So that's why it's cool.
There you go.
That there's someone that's actually reprinting all these pulps. I'm just tickled. So
it was my first series that I fell in love with was Zorro.
Oh, yeah.
I absolutely loved it. Knew the words to the song. I couldn't sing it now, but I knew it then.
And we all played it. As kids,
I have
get the Z there.
I have a cousin the same age as I am, we were born 1 week apart.
Okay.
And we got snowed in Ronkonkoma, New York, and he literally pummeled me to death playing Zorro.
Oh gosh, that's funny.
Oh, James, thank you. James just sent us a converter. That's going to be really helpful. That was very sweet of you, James, to do. He sent us a free file converter for the change the PDF. So next time we'll be able to show it. And George said, "Did you know that Zorro is fox in Spanish?" Yes, I did know that.
Yes, absolutely.
Yep. Oh yeah, you need your cat, Zorro.
anyone that would pay money, go out to Los Angeles, visit the places where they filmed, and starts with the V. Those rocks that you see in everything alien and Western.
Oh yeah,
those pointed rocks.
Yeah,
Vasquez rocks or something like that. Anyway, we went to see all of those. We went up to see where they filmed Lone Ranger, and they filmed some of Zorro. I mean, So you know that I know some of this stuff.
There you go.
We have a cape and a shirt in my closet. I didn't save anything else. But I had a friend.
You should have worn it tonight.
And, oh well. No, I'm gonna have to get me, if this, no, I probably won't. I'm too old for that.
Nah.
So George says, so we've got a fox, a bat, what else?
A cat.
Well, we had a cat.
Yes.
We have this cat.
And to be honest with you, the under contract is the prequel to Realms of the Cat.
Awesome.
So I'm excited about that. I have not seen a cover and I don't have a date. It's in queue to be edited. So
Trish
I don't
says
write about
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Yeah, we got a spider. We've got a little bit of everything, but more to the point, Susan has Realms of the Cat and she has a black cat, which
There
is
you go.
perfect. I mean, if we're talking about a black fox and a black a black bat and a black cat.
Well, it's
that
funny.
3 times fast.
I wrote a novella, and it got panned in I send things to the Florida writers every year. I don't know if I will this year, but I sent this little novella about, and it's a kid's book, about a tame fox. And I got panned for that because, and I realized that there was other issues and I need to work on them and try to fix them. But the one thing that they said that I will disagree with is they said, no, it's just a little too far-fetched that this fox would be so tame that it would help these 2 boys. And I was sitting there scratching my head because the idea came from a National Geographic where some scientist in Russia was taming foxes to show how dogs might have become domesticated. And they said that by about the 10th generation, the foxes were sitting there wagging their tails and stuff like that. And then the other day I saw a video of a fox wagging his tail. And I'm going, that's weird. But hey.
It proves that your idea was not far-fetched.
Right.
No, I just need to work on the actual story.
I remember the story of the gorilla that saved the little 5-year-old boy who fell into his enclosure. The silverback picked him up and held him because the female gorillas were coming to protect their offspring. So he protected that little boy until the zookeeper came and took him from him. And then there was that picture of the orangutan. An anthropologist had fallen into a mud pit, and the orangutan, there's this picture of the orangutan leaning over, his hand down, reaching out to the man, and he pulls him out.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, animals are amazing. They're just really amazing.
And then the dolphins that have saved sailors and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yes, and children too. They've saved children, and if people are out and there are sharks around, the dolphins will actually form a barrier and not let the sharks attack the people if the dolphins are there. I just love animals. George says animals are far more amazing than they get credit for. Amen, George. I agree 100%. Yes. I love animals.
That's why you love me. No. Okay. Back to the drawing board.
Yeah, really. Back to Susan's books. Is there anything else you'd like to talk about, Susan, before we wind down the show?
Well, gosh, I feel like I've talked so much that I didn't know if anyone else might have any questions, but I guess they would have asked if they had.
Well, let's open it up.
Yeah.
If you have any more questions, we're in the last few minutes of the show here. So anyone has any questions or comments, it'll take a minute for them to type them up.
In the meantime, are you traveling over the Christmas holiday at all?
No, we actually did that before this. We went the week after Thanksgiving out to Pigeon Forge and in the Smoky Mountains.
That's right.
and spent a
Yeah.
week. Yes.
Yeah.
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 And we had just been to the Smoky
Yeah.
Mountains also.
Right.
Oh,
Twice.
wow.
We
They're
went
beautiful.
twice.
Yeah. We missed the leaves, but it was still beautiful. Yeah.
We got to see the leaves right at the end.
Right at the end.
At the on the first 2-week trip, we saw the leaves right at the end. And
Wow.
and I don't know if you've ever been to Kate's Cove in the Great Smoky National Park.
Oh, yes.
Okay, so it's an 11-mile loop, right?
Mm-hmm.
There were so many people there that it took us 3 hours to do the 11 miles.
I don't think I've ever seen it any less than that.
Really?
Oh, okay.
Maybe, now, we went Sunday before our daughter and her family came back, and it moved a little bit faster. You know, it was a Sunday. Of course, it was a little bit later in the morning, but sometimes it has. We went one Thanksgiving day, and it was kind of yucky. That's when we saw the bear.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we camp, you know.
Uh-huh.
So we're camping up there, up in the mountains near the park, and actually the where our campground was, one of the most famous trails in the park, and it began right at our campsite.
Mhm.
But we had to put all of our trash in bear boxes because they had bears coming through all the time. Trish Pipkin says, no questions. I just hope everyone has a Merry Christmas. Thank you, Susan, for answering all the questions and sharing about your books.
Yeah.
I guess the only other thing I might mention is that if Billy Bob is successful, I've got another Billy Bob story.
Oh, good.
Oh, great.
Good. I think that'll be good. I told you we have 2 grandchildren. Our youngest 2, we have 14 grandchildren. Those of you who listen
Yes.
regularly know. But the 2 youngest love, just the name alone is like, okay, I'm sold. If he's called Billy Bob Flybottom, I want to know something about him. And there's a cow in the tornado, and he's holding the tornado by the tail on
And
the
a
cover.
chicken.
So, and a chicken.
Don't forget the chicken.
Yeah, and our
thing
grandchildren
is-
have chickens.
The funny thing is that Marla says, you know, you wrote this for a picture book. She says, I think it would be better as a early chapter book. You need to write more. So the tornado and the cow and the chicken came a little bit later than the original story.
Ah,
And of course it worked perfectly. It was, you know, she had the right idea. And it made it a better story, I think.
that's
Well,
good.
that's good.
We have another comment. Marjorie says, thanks for another terrific episode. Merry Christmas, everybody, including Billy Bob.
And we do want to mention that
you.
Marjorie is going to be our guest, actually, in January. She's going to kick off the new year on January 5th. Yeah, she'll be on. So,
Yay, Marjorie,
Yeah.
finally.
so
Seems
we'll get
like
a chance to meet her and hear about all of her,
Yeah.
her writing.
see her face to face.
There you go.
Meet her face to face. We
Right.
already know her.
Right. Part of the family here.
Have for years. Yep. Marjorie says, yay.
Yay.
That's what
Yeah, the
Marjorie.
same thing.
Yay.
Yeah.
Trish Pipkin says, awesome. Yeah. A lot of people will be happy finally to put a face to the name, Marjorie.
Yeah. So we're going to go ahead and thank you. We're going to move you over to the side like that.
It's been an hour already, folks, believe it or
Yeah.
not.
Wow.
Oh, we have one more comment we need to address. I will be having brain surgery that day, but we'll try to watch later.
Oh,
Diane, we will all be
Diane.
praying for
Yeah,
you.
we'll keep
Wow.
you in
Good
prayers.
That's kind
You're
of
going to have to let us know what that's about, and, you know, if there's anything any of us can do,
Right.
and, you know, prayers heading your way.
Mm-hmm.
definitely.
She says, thank you. And you're welcome. And yes, we'll be lifting you up. And let us know. Drop us a little note, okay, Diane, and let us know what's going on.
Okay, so let's see. Tory Gates is next week, next Wednesday, right here, 7 o'clock. Saturday, 5:30. re-streaming episode 4, Orlando Sanchez, Mark Rosendorf, from back in March, I think it was. Good episode. Don't want to miss it. And I'm thinking we're pretty much done.
Yeah. Don't forget at 8:30, we're followed by Inside the Drag Closet. Stay tuned and listen to them. Like, share, comment, follow us on YouTube. If you subscribed, you'll get a notification of when this show is about to be broadcast live, and you won't miss the show.
That's right. So with that, we're going to say, and to all, a good night.
And that's all, folks.
And that's all, folks.
Thank you for joining us here on Meet the Author. Make sure you stay up to date with our show by clicking like, follow, and share. And you can find us on Spotify, iTunes, and more. See you next time on WLFE-DB.com.
You've been listening to WLFE-DB.com, where our shows are your shows.